Hi, this is Mark Frechette from Georgetown County School District, and I wanted to review a couple of really cool features that are basic but you may not know about inside a Jamboard. You can see here I have a sample Jamboard that's already created. One of the things that I love about Jamboard is that it's so good as far as using it as a collaborative workspace. So you can see here I can use it for teaching content. So on this slide I could use it for again, dragging and having students find the letter C, anything that starts with the letter C sound. On the next frame, when I click over here, you can see that I could also use it for social emotional learning. So again, if we had a project coming up, the students could go ahead and grab, and they could let me know where they feel on this scale, so that way I can figure out how to help them. And then third, if we had indoor recess due to kind of a rainy day situation, we could also create a game board template and use this just for fun as far as checkers go. So again, there's 3 different ways that you can use this Jamboard, and I just wanted to talk about several of the features that I think are often overlooked. First and foremost, the share settings. As I come right up here, I can go to share, and just like any of the other Google apps, I can go ahead and share this. Down here for our school district, I can go ahead and open up the sharing so that way anyone in the district can view or they can edit. This is a quick way to go ahead and copy this link, share it with my class, allow them to work on it, and then I can come back into the share settings when I want them to stop working on it, and I can lock it back down to view and then close it out and done, and it's going to lock that work. So again, the share settings are right up here. A great way to turn those share settings on and off so that way they can be editable by many people, or you can do it specifically as well. The next feature is right over here. It's got a really easy toolbar to use. You can see it's got basic features as far as a pen. If students want to go ahead and write, they can write. You can see an eraser tool so they can come back over and they can erase. You've got a clicker so that way I can select different objects on here. I have, again, a sticky note, which is really cool because I can choose my colors. I can write in my name, and then I can go ahead and post that up there. And again, those sticky notes I can expand, and I can minimize, and I can move around to wherever I wanted to. I can also duplicate these by clicking on the 3 dots. I can edit it, or I can delete it. So again, another basic feature. Down here, the add image. This is where you can do a lot of cool functions. In a minute, I'm going to show you how you can use the add image to not only go ahead and select images of your own, but also upload GIFs and put in a timer, and including set a background as well. And then the shapes. You can see on this, as I look at this, I have transparent shapes. So when I drag these circles, they're going to allow me to go ahead and move these images over here. If I come down to shapes and I wanted to go ahead and create these on any form, I would come right over here. I would click on the shape. I'm going to add the shape. And then again, mine is set by default right now to this transparent, but I can come right up here. I can say whatever fill color I want it to have. And again, you can see the difference. So now I filled it with that color. If I want to come up and I want to make this transparent so that way I can put that circle around an object, I can do that as well. I can even change the border color of it. So if I wanted to make this a red circle, I can do that. And again, these 3 dots allow me to duplicate that shape once I get one that I like, and then I can make a stack. So just a really cool feature as well. The next one down here is the text box. And again, just a basic text. I'm going to click in here and I can type whatever I wanted to type. And then finally, I have the laser. So that way I can go ahead and you can see that I can move this around and the laser will disappear. So again, really easy user interface as far as this toolbar goes. I'm going to hop to this next slide over here, and now I wanted to show you some of the basics. You can see over here that again, I had this so that my students could go ahead and they can move down on this scale, and the one thing I won't do is drag this background. So you can see I have a background set, but as I click and I try to drag this, nothing is happening. So the students can't do anything with this scale. The same on the slide before. I had these images in the letter C as my background. The only thing the students can grab are these shapes right here. So again, anything that I want locked in that background, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set as the background. So I can't grab any of these images. I can't grab this scale. I can't grab any of these images or this text up here. And again, the same on here. I can't grab the background of the checkerboard. However, I can go ahead and move the checkers. So I'm going to show you how to set a background. It's real easy. I'm going to go to right up here is where the new frames are. And again, you can see that I have 4 currently. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set this first frame right here on number 4. I'm going to set a background. So the way I do that is I choose the background that I want. And right now, let's say I wanted a Venn diagram of the difference between plant cells and animal cells. I already have that image. So I'm going to go to set background. I'm going to choose my image. I'm going to go to upload and browse because I know where I have that image. And now I'm going to go right here to Venn diagram. And you can see now I have a Venn diagram that I cannot grab the plant cell nor the image of the animal cell. I can't grab these texts and I can't grab these shapes. So now my students could go ahead and with their sticky notes or their text, they could come in here and they could begin adding features to that they thought belonged to one or the other. So again, you can see how I can move these and manipulate them, but I still can't move that background. So again, set your background up here, get your image first and your template, and then go ahead and set that background, and then your students can't do this. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. So now, let's say that I love this background, and I want all of my students to go ahead and use this as a space for collaboration. What I'm going to do is come up here and I'm going to expand this frame bar. And you can see right here that I've got this template. Well, if I want to go ahead and use this same template over and over, I can click on these 3 dots right up here and I can hit duplicate. And now you see that as I do this, each one of my frames will now expand and they'll have this same identical background. So again, just an easy way to do that as I come through and do all of this. One thing I want to show you is, let's say that I go ahead and I continue adding these frames, and I'm going to close this and just do this a little faster. I can also create blank frames doing this. It's going to stop at 20 and give me this message that I can't create any more frames. So if you have a classroom that has more than, say, 20 students or even 19 students, you're going to want to consider this, because again, you will not be able to in this Jamboard create any more than those 20 frames. So that means it's a great space for collaboration. So you have to figure out how many students you want on each slide, and then possibly even tell them what frame number they are to go to with their partners to begin working on it. But again, you only have 20 frames. So make sure you know that going into it and plan accordingly. The other part that I like is that you can add a timer on this. So again, if I wanted to come to the first frame and I wanted to tell students, you have a certain amount of time for this, I can add a timer as a GIF. Now the way that I've been able to do this is I come down here to add image. I have the GIFs downloaded on my computer. So I'm gonna go to browse, and you can search for different GIFs. Again, you can find them on the internet, and then you're going to need to download them to your computer first. So down here, I should have a folder called timers that I've downloaded. Here we go, GIF timers. I'm going to double click on that, and I want to go ahead and I'm going to put up a 1-minute timer for this. So again, as soon as I turn this, click on this GIF, every student that's in this will see this GIF. They will see the countdown. I can resize it. It's going to continue. The one thing about this is, again, notice it's on 51 seconds. When I move through these frames and I begin working on this, it's not going to copy over into each frame. However, it's going to continue running on that first frame. So if I go back and check, you'll see that we're now down to 36 seconds. So again, that's a nice feature that it continues to run. The one downside of this is that I cannot pause this. So let's say that I had a 1-minute timer up and we got down to, say, about 15 seconds, and I had to stop everybody for a little catch and release. One thing I may do is delete this. and I've got a catch and release moment. So now I want to teach my students, give them one last bit of instruction, and then release them for 15 seconds. Again, I could not pause that GIF. So what I'm going to do is simply come over here. I'm going to add an image again, and I'm going to go to browse. And inside of my timers, I actually have a 15-second timer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this 15-second timer and let students know 15 seconds remain. I'm not sure what they'd be able to accomplish in those 15 seconds, but you can see I've adjusted. So again, I would consider, if you're going to use this, having several different timers, so that way students, if you do have to have those catch and release moments, you can start them back up at a certain amount of time. The next thing is that finally it's here. Right up here on these 3 dots, Jamboard has brought us version history, just like everything else. So again, if you are using this with a group, you will be able to drill down and see who did what. For this demo, I'm the only person in here, so it's only going to show the corrections that I made. But again, version history is here, folks. You can restore any of these versions. So that means if I wanted to reuse this template the way it was originally done, I can come down here, I can hit restore, and now I'm right back to the beginning version. It's right here. So again, another great feature. Version history right up here. I can go to see version history, and it's there. Again, I hope this helps encourage you to go ahead and get more out of your Jamboard.